that I like. I'm going to embarrass myself.
Please, shoot it. Yeah, wow.
Okay. So one book that has stayed with me, it's a Christian romantic book. It's called Until I Found You.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I just love.
Hey, until I did what?
Until I found
Wow,
you. Yeah.
wow.
And I've reread a lot of books, and I love nonfiction, and this is actually a fiction book.
Yeah.
You know,
I can tell
but
from that title.
you know, it just spoke to me, you know, as an adolescent, you know, growing up, and I was like, oh, this is a cool book. So
So you read it long ago?
yeah, long ago.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So like 1-2 lessons that you've learned from the book, maybe that you
Yeah.
would like to share.
So
Yeah. What is that one thing that makes you wake up every day?
So what really makes me wake up every day? It's the simple belief that there is a reason as to why I exist. You know, some call it purpose, some say this and this. So for me, I wake up every day to love on people.
Wow. It reaches to a point.
Yeah.
I mean, like, we are all broken and we need help, and sometimes we think that we need a lot, maybe we need, but just we need a hug. Sometimes we just need a hug. And I mean, someone comes and says, you know what, I'm not looking for an advice, I'm not looking for nothing else, but I just feel like I just want to be hugged. I just want to be embraced. I just want to be loved on. And you know, I mean, it just
and sometimes that's the thing, Eric, because
hello. Welcome back to Cross Represented Podcast. I'm your host, Eric Mukristu. Remember, we represent Christ in everything that we are doing. All right. How is there? We are so much grateful that you're tuning in again. I am your host, Eric Mukristu, and today I'm very hyped. I really can't wait. Thank you so very much for the encouraging comments. You've really been encouraging. You've really been giving us feedbacks, and that really keeps us going. It really helps us love what we are doing more. And thank you so much for opening up and allowing yourselves to let us know, to open up and let us know how this is impacting your life. So we just keep it real. We share stories. We love on each other. We extend grace, and we don't judge. So that's what we've been really doing, and that's what we are continuing to do. And so I am super excited. Again, you are most welcome to Cross Represented Podcast. I am your host, Eric Mukristu, and today I have someone special, and I'm very hyped to have you overseas, and I really don't know where to begin from. And I just want to remind you something. Do you still remember the first time we met? Can you recall in the event, you know, what made us meet for the very first time?
I don't remember.
You don't remember? Can you even try to guess where we met?
If we met at an event, then it should have been at church, you know, New Life Bible Church. I don't remember exactly what the event was about, but I know that we've met a couple of times, you know, and different moments and memories have stayed.
Can you try to recall maybe something that we you know, do you remember the reading group? Can you recall that? Like we used to come together just for a verse, and we could read books together.
Was that the Pastor Elise's group?
Yeah.
Pastor Elise. I remember that.
But I always failed to recall the title of the book that we read. That was really interesting. You remember we could come together
during our lunch break.
Lunch breaks, and we could come and we're reading a book, and maybe each one could have a copy, or we could you know, have a few copies, but you know, reading a page and you pass it on to someone else, and they read a page, and then at the end of a chapter you share the insights and everything.
Now I remember those early days.
Yeah.
It's been years.
It's really been years.
That's why, like, I couldn't recall.
Yeah,
exactly.
I wanted to surprise you that I know you from 2018. Can you believe?
Can you imagine?
Yeah, 2018. I've really been seeing you around, and you can really just tell from. You know, I really appreciate you for growing in who you are, but you've never changed.
Thank you, brother.
Does it make sense? You've never changed, but you've been growing into who you are, and I'm super proud of what you're doing.
Thank you so much.
You're low-key. I mean, you just keep it, you know, just there in the background, but I really, really know what you do, and thank you so very much for giving yourself to service.
Amen.
I am super proud, and thank you so much for honoring our invitation.
Oh yes,
here. So,
I
mean, I was looking.
The people I can't say no to, and you're among those.
I know.
Thank you for the invite.
I mean, so I really can't wait. I'm super hyped, and I am looking forward to a great conversation. And I know that you you have a story to tell, and I just want us to recognize a few things that you're doing here and there, but also we want to you know, we just want to make it a little bit fun. How about you go ahead and tell people just your names, and then other questions we are going to what are your names?
So my names are Oliver Tsime, but my friends call me Olivia. Like since my childhood, people always call me Olivia. So I've just decided to adopt it as my third name.
Oh, it wasn't your idea.
It wasn't my idea.
Someone just woke up and they started calling you
everywhere at school. I would tell people I'm Oliver, and still they would say Olivia. So I've embraced it as a name that people enjoy calling me, and
all right,
it's no harm.
Awesome. Now I have an interesting question here, and you're going to give me the first thing that comes to your mind. Cooking or eating outside, like from
restaurants? Cooking.
Okay, movies or books?
Both.
No, you're going to pick one.
Oh my goodness, that's so tricky, Eric.
You're going to pick one.
Well, I'm gonna shoot myself on this one. Movies.
Fiction, non-fiction?
Non-fiction.
Okay, so do you remember a childhood memory that is in your mind right now, and you want to share it?
Oh yes. So one of my childhood memories that's always stuck with me.
I'm telling you.
So it was one of those sunny afternoons as children, and we're standing like in front of our house. At that time, our home was close to the road, and then there was this big truck that broke right in front of our house, and it was carrying a lot of cookies. So as kids, we just rushed and could pick the cookies and eat them. So that memory has stuck with me. It was a crisis moment, but for us it was a beautiful gift.
I'm telling you, man, we have to grab this opportunity.
Does
it teach you something? Does it speak something maybe?
It does, because as I kept growing, because it stuck with me, I was like, okay, we did something wrong. But at that time, it's so easy to get caught up in the innocence of things, and you forget that what could be like your fun moment is like someone's dismay. It's hurting others. What could even be your win, whether it's a win in work or it's a success in life, there is someone sacrificing at the other end. So perhaps someone is losing so you can win. Someone is stepping down so you can step up.
Man. So profound. Awesome. Now, when we are growing up, literally we have different dreams of what we want to become, and there is like this statement that we usually use, when I want to be this when I grow up. So was there anything that you always wanted to become when you grow up?
There wasn't something truly firm, to be honest, because just growing up as an African girl and being raised in that kind of culture, your dreams are not so big, at least for me. But do you know what I really aimed at? I just wanted to be a good daughter For me, that has always been at the top
not
of
pilot,
everything.
not a doctor,
not a pilot, not what. Because I've been like so attached and connected to my parents, to my family. So for me, whenever I made my parents proud, or whenever I was present, whenever they needed me, that was my win.
Oh, wow.
So I always just wanted to grow up to be that person that would make their parents proud. I didn't know how, but somewhere around my late teens, at this time I'm in high school, I'm like, maybe it wouldn't be bad to be a lawyer. Because I don't know, I just hate injustices. I hate to see people suffer. So maybe if I could be a lawyer, I could advocate for people. I could speak out for the voiceless. But that still wasn't so deep. I think that's why I didn't even pursue it. So for me, it's just been one revelation to another, evolving.
And one step at a time.
Yeah, one step at a time.
Yeah.
So and it just happens that God knows better. I don't know why I'm doing what I'm doing today. But somewhere in my early 20s, I realized, you know what? I just love connecting with people through stories, through words. So communication can allow me that platform. So
all right. So I want you to give us a picture. Do you love being around a lot of people, or you just love being alone? Like maybe do you love the vibes around, or you just love it when you held back and you just want to do yourself?
I like having a lot of people around, but I don't like noise. So, and I think that's what makes it tricky. Because I don't like just people coming and bringing all the loud around me. But I don't mind having hundreds and thousands of people, but we are still, just calm. If you're talking, we are, communicating and connecting, not just playing all those loud music and we are having migraines. I don't do that. But if I have to, because, as a Christian people, you get to realize that some things are about purpose.
True.
So if I really have to go in that noisy place, I will. But after that, I'll just need my time alone to be quiet.
I know.
Because naturally, I'm an introvert, And that's why I'm like, okay, how can you be an introvert and yet, you're in communication and you're in stories.
Do you find it easier though?
It's not easy. Mukristu, it's not easy. And I think it's one reason that has held me back in some aspects of my growth. Because I'm like, okay, do I really have to go out there? Do I have to be seen? Maybe I can do my work in the background.
I know. And you are doing an amazing work,
Thank you.
Wow.
But then when I realized my giftings, I realized that most of it is going to require me to show up, to engage with people, to interact with people. So if I could have it my way, I enjoy, one-on-one conversations with people, deep, intimate conversations that stay with me, that I carry to my bed, that I pray about, that I think about. That's what flows naturally.
Oh, wow. So what is your favorite book?
My favorite book. I've read a couple of books. But one that I like, I'm going to embarrass myself.
Please, shoot it. Yeah, wow.
Okay. So one book that has stayed with me, it's a Christian romantic book. It's called Until I Found You.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I just love.
Until I did what?
Until I found you. Yeah.
Wow.
And I've reread a lot of books, and I love nonfiction, and this is actually a fiction book.
I can tell from that title.
It just spoke to me, as an adolescent, growing up, and I was like, oh, this is a cool book. So
you read it long ago?
Yeah, long ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So like 1-2 lessons that you've learned from the book, maybe, and you would like to share?
So it's that part of innocence that stays with you,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
as a Christian, at least for me as a Christian girl, because even the writer is a Christian author. She's an amazing woman. It just reminds you that when the time is right, there is a way God just changes things up for your good.
Wow.
And might mean bringing your Prince Charming or even another way, but God always in the middle of chaos.
Yeah.
Because it's a story about this girl that was stuck in an accident as she was trying to go back to her roots.
Yeah.
I think that's why it speaks so much to me, you know, going back to your roots, to your culture, to your family. And then she gets into this terrible accident. And in the middle of that chaos, someone comes to save her. And they go through all these phases of learning, of loss, of chaos, devastating times. But, you know, they end up winning.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome. It's an interesting one.
It is.
So is there anything that people tell you about you,
Yeah.
the quality that people talk about you, and most of the times you are shocked when you hear people maybe saying something positive about you, maybe a quality, and go ahead and share what it is.
You'll be surprised that I don't get shocked when people tell me what is good about me.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think it's because I know myself to an extent, and I try to be present in the understanding of who I am. I'm very intentional about being self-aware. You know, I'm aware of my strength,
Yeah.
just like I'm aware of my weaknesses. So when people tell me, you know, you're good in this, you're good in that, I receive those compliments with humility, but they don't surprise me because I've taken time to intentionally work on myself,
Wow.
to intentionally connect with myself, you know, in the background where I am, in the unseen, you know, in the struggles, in the questioning, in the seeking, to get to a point where I'm like, okay, nothing's going to surprise me, you know, good or bad. The extent that actually, Mukristu, every day I wake up knowing that I'm likely to face this and that, and this is how I'm going to react. And I always know that if I choose to maybe scream or roar, I know I'm capable of that. And I just choose to let it out. And if I choose to stay calm, it's still a choice. I can fall on any sides, on either edges. I could just find myself being the worst or the best in the present, depending on what situation I'm caught up in. But still to not be surprised and go, oh, Olivia got angry. Of course I'm capable of that.
Wow.
Oh, Olivia was slapped and she turned the other cheek. I know that I'm also capable of that by the grace of God.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're talking about self-awareness, and it's what most of people lack. And the moment you know who you are, life really gets much easier because now you know which is which, and you know how to go about life. And the other day I was speaking in a conference somewhere, and so I opened my sharing with questions. I said that self-awareness comes from questioning a lot and asking, and which leads actually to maturity. And you know, you are aware of stuff, and you know yourself, and you know what your strength is, your strength are, you know your weaknesses, and you know how to go about life. And thank you so much for paying the price of digging deeper and asking questions. And you know, I told the people in the conference that when you don't question, you don't grow, because growth comes as a result of asking a lot of questions, and not really about maybe the bigger stuff or the economy or the politics, or I mean, maybe something that's just about yourself, and you know, how am I wired, and what makes me happy, and who am I, and you know, so that is where actually clarity comes from, and that is where maturity comes from, because you can't grow without making you know, a conclusion or building a philosophy of life. And thank you so much for allowing yourself to undergo that, and also, you know,
Thank you.
being the person you are today. And since 2015 we've been in the same environment and seeing you many times, and I can really tell that you are a very straight person, and you are not easily offended. You get like you are very firm and strong in who you are, and that requires a lot of energy, a lot of courage, and also to move from one level of behaving and also to where you are today. So thank you so very much.
You're welcome.
So you talked about justice. And I really know what you do, and I know like what your voice is up to. So but I really want to ask for our audience, what makes you wake up every single day? What is it that you be like, this is what I want to achieve? What is that one thing that makes you wake up every day?
So what really makes me wake up every day, it's the simple belief that there is a reason as to why I exist. Some call it purpose, some say this and this. So for me, I wake up every day to love on people.
Wow.
And that love presents itself in different ways. Sometimes loving people might just mean that I give my best to my job so that someone accesses what they need through my work. Sometimes loving on people might mean that I just choose to call a friend and hang out with them over coffee to get to know how they are doing. So for me, that's my intention every day, because I know that, at least from my faith, that's what I'm required of. But I also acknowledge that we live in such challenging times where it's easy to lose sight of that, to be caught up in the runs, to be caught up in the fear and losses, that we forget what matters. So for me, everything I do, I intentionally ask myself, where is love in this? Whether it's a book I'm writing, or a poem I'm releasing, or a chat I choose to have with a friend, or a drive I choose to go to. I'm like, okay, where is love in this? Is it going to make this person I'm saying yes to feel human? Is it going to make them feel seen? Is it going to make them feel hurt? And that comes with challenges, Eric.
I'm telling you.
It comes with challenges, because you find that sometimes people don't get it. I found myself in places where I'm pinned and people are like, why are you doing that?
I know.
Who sent you?
I know.
Like, really? And I'm like, and it just pulls me back. I'm like, I'm really sorry that this person has been hurt so much that a simple act of kindness, just alarms them and alerts them. I'm really sorry that people think for us to win, for us to build, we have to break each other. We have to hurt each other. So I realized that love has just become a word. It's no longer an action. It's just something we say because we have to.
We say it, but we don't mean it.
To say that we are human beings. We have to say love. But where is it? Where is the action of love? Because sometimes people be like, okay, if you have a soft heart, because people that know me know that my heart is soft. I'm very empathetic. So they're like, okay, if you keep being that empathetic, you're going to lose. Your empathy, you find that it's working against you. And I'm like, well, if I'm to lose, at least I want to lose when my soul is in the right place. Eric, I don't want to show up and give my all, work hard, and fail to sleep at night because I did things that weren't right by people, because I was dishonest, because I was slandering, because I was malicious. So for me, love is very important, because love never sets out to harm people.
I know.
And love tries to give its best. So whenever I'm not giving my best, and I know it's in my potential to do so, I'm like, there is someone at the other end that's losing out, And that's not love. That's selfishness, that's self-protection.
Yeah.
So if God has loved you so much and given you this much wisdom and given you these gifts, and given you the privilege to attain an education, to even be loved, to have people who care about you, get up and put that to use. Yeah, so for me, it's all around that. It doesn't matter what I do. If love is not in the picture, it loses meaning.
I know. Towards the end of last year, I was praying, and of course, like when you are transitioning from one year to another, you asking, evaluating, and you really just want to maybe make some adjustments. You want to remove things, or you want to, improve on something, or so just seeking direction from God. And I remember God has really been so faithful to me. So, and I was like, okay, God, if you had a prayer request, what would that be? And it was crazy, and I was like, okay, God, if you ever have a prayer request, I just want to be an answered prayer. I just want to, be your answered prayer. So God, what are you praying for? And he told me, Eric, my prayer request, it has really been my wish, and this is my greatest project. My greatest project is a soul of a man, is a heart of a man. True. And I was like, okay, what do you mean? So he told me that love on people, regardless of who they are, and just view them in the lenses of my love, and don't judge them, and extend grace. And so when you are loving people, and you know that to some extent they're going to manipulate you, to some extent they're going to disappoint you, but you just give your level best. You still give, because that is the prayer request of our Father. That is a prayer request of God. He really, really needs to see a soul of man, rejoicing and turning around, and being and pursuing the purpose. And so thank you so very much for loving on people. Sometimes you ask yourself, I really don't have reasons of loving this person, but either way, I'm going to love them. And I'm not really going to love them because maybe I have reasons of not to, but I'm going to love them because I'm loved, and I understand the source of my love. True. And so that is actually the call of every believer, of every Christian, that we have to love on people. And as you said, love in action, because we just, we don't have to fake love. And you really, really have to love people by showing that you love them, that is really, really powerful. And how I wish that was actually a thing that makes everyone, of us wake up every single morning saying, I'm going to love on people. And imagine if you made that conclusion that you're going to love on people, and at your workplace, at home, and everywhere you go, so when you have that, it really makes life easier, and it fulfills. It fulfills for sure.
It's everything. It's everything. And I think we can never fall or fail in love. There is nothing that I'm going to love someone, and if they hurt me, then I'll have failed. It's not about us. Love is beyond us. It's divine. And I always know personally that for every act of goodness that I choose to show, that I choose to extend to people, whether they receive it or not, it's not a loss to me. It's not a loss. I've done what's required of me. I've done what God requires of me. And He knows best. If I end up getting my heart broken, He'll heal my heart, because He's the healer. If I end up making losses in the process of trying to reach out, He'll restore. So there is nothing to be afraid of. Just get out and give all you have. I always tell myself and tell people that I'm fortunate to meet, don't aim at going to bed at night when your heart is full.
Wow.
I always want to go when my heart is empty. Like,
come on,
I've literally given everything.
Everything.
I've given everything that
wow.
I'm like, whew.
Wow.
I'm light now. I'm free.
Wow.
It's time
I have
for
to
me
recharge
to rest.
and I have,
Yeah.
oh man, that's so profound.
Let me just recharge in the
That's so
night
profound.
through my dreams, through whatever
Yeah.
God speaks to
Yeah.
me. And hopefully I wake up in the morning still with the heart so full to go and give out.
And now your prayer is, okay, God, to whom should I
Yeah,
give
to whom
this?
should I give?
Bring people my way. I just want to, oh, wow, that's so profound.
Yeah.
That's so amazing.
Yeah, who needs my ear today? Who should I love on today?
Wow.
Where should I use my mind today?
Wow.
Because I think that's the challenge with us as Christians. Like, sometimes I'm like, as a Christian, if I know my identity and where my faith is rooted, Eric, I have something to give. And I'm going to give it.
Amen.
I'm going to give it. And people think that for us to give, we always have to be in the open. We have to be so extroverted. We have to be talking. But people that are giving the most are those that are holding space at the back.
I know.
Where people are breaking, where people are afraid to show up, where people are struggling but afraid to be seen. They don't want to put their struggle out there. And you go there, you heal with them, you break with them, you cry with them.
Come on.
Not expecting anyone to see you.
Yeah.
You're not expecting anyone to clap for you or to recognize you.
Yeah.
But because we all have turned, life and humanity in, like, we've turned it into a circus. It's like we're on a stage where we have to show.
Yeah.
And then it ends up leaving us with empty hearts, with empty lives.
Yeah.
Nothing makes sense.
Yeah.
Where you're like, okay, but I was there for you. And someone is like, no, you aren't.
Yeah.
Because you are there to be seen. You are there to be clapped for.
Yeah.
You are there to be cheered on. And remember, when people are broken and down, they don't have even claps to give us. They don't have cheers to give us.
Wow.
The best they'll give us is their pain, is their
Yeah,
heart, is their struggle.
Come on.
And we have to be willing to receive that if we can manage to receive it. Hold it and take it to God.
Yeah.
Don't keep it, because when you keep it, it's gonna stress you or even break you.
Yeah.
Because as human beings can only take so much. It's not in our ability to take people's pain and to just keep piling and piling it. It's gonna break us. So you give it to me, I keep it and I take it to God. And from there, God will lead me. His Spirit will lead me, whether I talk to someone about it or not. So that's how it is.
Oh wow, that's so profound. That's so amazing. Let me tell you something. I mean, it reaches to a point. I mean, like, we are all broken and we need help. And sometimes we think that we need a lot. Maybe we need, but just we need a hug. Sometimes we just need a hug. And I mean, someone comes and says, you know what, I'm not looking for an advice. I'm not looking for nothing else, but I just feel like I just want to be hugged. I just want to be embraced. I just want to be loved on. And, I mean, it just...
and sometimes that's the thing, Eric, because we meet people with whom we feel like we have to do something for every day. And sometimes the best thing we can do for people is nothing. Don't do anything at all. Because in trying to correct or heal, you might end up causing a lot of pain. So if we are not ready to take a seat with this person in their mess and really hear them out and know what they need, then we shouldn't, be giving solutions or unsolicited advices. Because you just come and they'll ask you, okay, Eric, how are you doing? And you're like, I'm not doing well. Maybe I lost this. And then personally, I'll feel like I need to fix that. So I call people, do you know that Eric lost this? Can you help him? But because I didn't sit with you to know exactly what you need from me, because we are rushing through life, I end up causing more pain to you.
True.
So if you're really not ready to be intentional with people, however good willing we might be, if you're not willing to pause for 30 minutes to talk through, to know where exactly they need our help, if you're not willing to visit them in their homes to talk, sometimes all you have to do is like, I'm sorry, I'm not in a place to help you right now. I'm not in a place to even listen. Myself, I'm running on low energy right now. I hope you find the person that can help you, or I recommend you pray. That's very honest and true. And anyone who is mature, they'll understand. Instead of us opening things and we leave them, it's like a Pandora box. You open it, and before you know, you are trying to get out of a mess that you've opened, and leaving everything shattered in the process.
So Olivia, I want to take you a little bit back.
This podcast is brought by ISMART House, your best podcast agency in Rwanda.
Remember, we represent Christ in everything that we are doing.